Hi, I'm Christina and welcome to the start of another weekly reading vlog, but it's actually Friday lunchtime, so I'm starting this one pretty late. So I'm currently reading All the Bad Apples by Moira Fowley-Doyle and I am really enjoying this one so far. And also just look how beautiful the cover is. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. So this book is actually quite out of my comfort zone. I generally speaking, if you've seen any of my other videos, read thrillers as a general rule, and this is a young adult kind of mystery, magical realism kind of book. So I wasn't sure how much I was gonna like it, but I am really liking it. So I first heard about it from Lily over at Lily Eleanor Reads. So I'll link her channel down below. I think she's great. She has some great recommendations, as I can contest with this one. And it's not something I would have picked up by myself. So it was really nice to, hear a recommendation of a book that you wouldn't naturally gravitate towards. It's just kind of nice to expand my reading kind of tastes. So it's about this girl called Dina, and she is just turning 17 years old. And she has two sisters, and they're twin sisters. One's called Mandy and one's called Rachel. And she lives with Rachel because their mother died when Dina was very young. So Rachel has practically raised her herself. And the father is relatively absent from the story, or from the family, but obviously he is in the story. And Mandy is kind of the wild child, so she's kind of more exciting, but she has some of her own demons, I guess you could say. And the story is about Mandy disappearing, and it's assumed that she has committed suicide. And then Dina starts receiving letters from Mandy trying to take her on a journey through their family history. And it's really interesting because it's really interesting way to kind of lay out a book. And these letters that she receives are kind of talking about this family curse. So she thinks that if you're a bad apple, by the time you turn 17, that something terrible is going to happen to you. And she's kind of gone back through the family history and found out what's happened to certain women back in the past. And when she's finding these letters, she's finding them with her friend, or also, I won't ruin because there's a spoiler there. Actually, I was going to tell you who else she went with, but that is a spoiler. So she's going with a group of people and she's trying to uncover the past. And when you go back into the past, you're hearing the perspective of each woman during that time, and some of them have had horrible things happen to them, and it touches on a lot of really interesting, really important topics actually. And I found that really fascinating, and it was one of those books that just kind of gripped me, and I just genuinely couldn't put it down. I've read so much in like almost one sitting, so I haven't been reading this throughout the week. I just kind of read it almost all in one go. So I'm up to page 296, so you can see I'm basically finished, but I thought, no, I can't read the whole thing in one sitting. I have to give it a bit more time and then come back to it, because I was enjoying it. This sounds weird. I was enjoying it too much to finish it in one go. I was like, no, I have to leave a little bit and then come back to it, because otherwise it's going to be over too quickly and I want to kind of drag it out a little bit. So yeah, I felt really kind of warm towards these characters. Like the character of Dina kind of touched me, and I don't normally expect that, so that was really lovely. And this is kind of my first foray into magical realism, as it were. So that was interesting too. It's not something I've ever really read about. I guess The 13th Tale by Diane Setterfield is a little bit of magical realism, but this is more so. And I'll definitely be happy to read more kind of books like that, because I think it's a genre that I will actually really enjoy. So if you have any recommendations for kind of like young adult magical realism kind of mysteries, pop them down in the comments below. I'd love to check them out. So I would say if you enjoy a good young adult mystery, a really well written one, because some of them, I don't want to be mean, but some of them are written quite badly. This is written really beautifully. I really like it. And if you like a little bit of magical realism, because it keeps you guessing, sometimes you don't quite know what's going on, and I enjoyed that. And if you enjoy a good sapphic romance as well, there's some of that in there. So I think, oh, also the setting is great too. So it's set in Ireland, and I haven't actually read that many books set in Ireland, so that was really interesting. And it kind of goes through the history of Ireland as well, and kind of talks about some important topics as well. So that's really interesting. And they kind of, on the trail of receiving the letters, they go to different places to find out more of the story and to find the next letter that Mandy's hidden, essentially. So I like that kind of idea. And it's always nice to hear a book being set in a place you're not really used to, because I guess most of the books I read are set in either England or America. That seems to be the norm for thrillers, mainly America, I would say. So yeah, I'll stop waffling on about this book now and go and have some lunch and then probably finish it off. So yeah, I think it's going to be definitely 4 stars, potentially 5 stars. I don't know if I can say it's perfect, but it's going to be a high rating indeed. And yeah, I think it's great. So I also have some parcels to open. Here they are. So I placed 2 orders, one with John Lewis and one with Boots. Now Boots had 20% off pretty much everything, and I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna stock up on a few things that I need and kind of treat myself to a few things too. So this one from John Lewis, what's this? Okay, so this is a new red nail polish. So this is from OPI, and I chose the colour Big Apple Red. Now this is because my red nail polish I've had for about 5-6 years now, and it's just started getting really gloopy and just a bit rubbish. And I love having red nails, so I thought I'm going to treat myself to a really nice, kind of expensive, fancy brand. So I've chosen this one. So I'm going to paint my nails tonight with that. And then from Boots, let's see what we've got first. Oh, okay. So this is going to be a backup. So this is the eyebrow pencil that I always use. I've been using it for like years now, and that's by MAC, and 20% off, so it's the perfect time to stock up. And then now I actually needed this one. Needed. So I've literally just run out of my favourite moisturiser, which is this one from Clinique. And again, I've been using this one for absolute years. I think I've been using this since I was about 15 years old, so it's been a really long time. And yeah, I just think it's a really great moisturiser, especially for under makeup. So I've stocked up on that. And then this is where it gets exciting. Oh, well, this isn't that exciting. So I've also got another backup. So this is my favourite cleanser, and this is by Liz Earle. Again, I've been using this for absolutely years. I'm kind of pretty loyal to products when I know that I like them and they work really well. So I normally do stick with what I know I really like. Now these two are exciting because this is Perfume now. So I treated myself to this massive bottle of Calvin Klein perfume, and it's CK Into You Her. And I used to wear this perfume years ago, and I don't think it was at uni, I think it was before. I think this might have been at college, so this was a really long time ago. And you could get this massive 150ml bottle, so it's a great price. So it was £50 RRP, and then it was half price to £25, and then I got 20% off, so I paid £20, and it is a massive bottle. So I hope I still like it after all these years. I was just like, yeah, it's been years and years, and it used to be my absolute favorite perfume. So yes, it's lovely. I love it. Let me just douse myself in it. Yes. So I've recently decided that I'm going to start wearing perfume pretty much every day, because I notice on the days I feel a bit like down and just not quite myself, when I put some perfume on, it genuinely makes me feel a bit more upbeat and a bit happier. And I think it's just because it's so nice to smell something beautiful all of the time. That's what I'm going to say to myself anyway. So I bought that one, and that's going to be my like cheaper perfume that I wear pretty much like day to day. And then I also treated myself to a more expensive perfume. It's going to be like my fancy perfume, like the going out perfume. Not that anybody's going out, but this is what this is for. So this is the YSL Black Opium perfume, and I have loved this perfume for about 3 years, 2 to 3 years. I've had thoughts about buying this perfume because I just think it's such a beautiful, sweet scent. And I just absolutely loved it. So the other one is cheaper because it's an eau de toilette, so it probably won't last as long on me, so I'll have to keep reapplying it throughout the day. Whereas with the eau de perfume, this one, you probably won't have to reapply it. That's the idea anyway. And I've got obviously a smaller bottle because it's so much more expensive. So I just chose the 50ml, and look, it's in this beautiful bottle. But I absolutely love this. I'm not going to spray it because I've literally just doused myself in the Calvin Klein one. But yeah, I absolutely love this one so much. I think it's such a beautiful, sweet scent, and I absolutely love it. Hi, so I finished All the Bad Apples and I really enjoyed this book, so I'm going to give it 3 stars, and that's only because I'm not 100% sure that magical realism is for me, but I did really enjoy reading it. So I would say if you enjoy a good young adult mystery, if you enjoy magical realism for sure, if you like a kind of slow build sapphic romance, it's done really nicely in this one. And also I think it's really great that it kind of draws upon the history of Ireland. So even though this is a work of fiction, the author has done a lot of research on a lot of these topics that actually did happen in Ireland. So there is a lot of truth inside this book as well. And I think it's really important to kind of draw upon the past and discuss these important issues. So I think it did that really, really well, and I couldn't fault that at all. And overall, it was just a really kind of enjoyable story. I was captivated by it in the beginning completely, hook, line and sinker. Really, really liked it. So I definitely recommend this one. So I'm going to wrap up the vlog here because it is Monday lunchtime now. So it's time to start a new weekly reading vlog. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see more of me talking about books, please do subscribe, and I will see you in next week's vlog. Bye.